Hi guys, in today's video I want to talk about essentialism when it comes to your training. Now you may be thinking, what the is that? And effectively it's the concept that you cannot say yes to two things simultaneously. Now what I mean by that when it comes to your training is people often think, right, this exercise is useful, let me do that one. But then what about this one? Oh, I need to do that one. But then what about this one? Oh, I need to make sure that one is in there because I want all the gains. And who doesn't? But effectively, when you say yes to an exercise, you're saying no to something else. Now, you might think, oh, well, I don't mind if my session is an hour and 10, an hour and a half. That doesn't bother me, and my lifestyle can accommodate that extra time. But the reality is that even if you do add, that's still taking away from your recoverability in general. So even if you wanted to keep adding, and even if you had all the time in the world, let's say you're a professional athlete or you've got enough money in the bank to not have to worry about doing other things in your life, it's still going to take away from your recoverability. Now, an interesting concept where I think this comes into play massively is doing core training but for time. So for example, let's say you start off planking 3 sets of 20 seconds in week 1, and then in week 2 you go 3 sets of 25, week 3 you go 3 sets of 30. That's perfectly logical. However, if you're working with, say, youth athletes or scholastic athletes and they've got to get to the lesson next, then that extra time, if your session's an hour and it only has to be an hour, then those extra time limits that you're taking up, they're going to take away from another exercise, unless of course you're just faffing around in your training. So what I would recommend is start minimalistically, see if you can improve performance with a key number of exercises. I would argue that for most athletes this is going to be some variation of squat, hinge, push, pull, lunge, and then see if performance is improving. If it is, then do you really need all the fluff that I see in a lot of training programs?